no, not you, my lady. I'm illegally parked, I know, part of my French and my Mercedes. But I have no excuse for this flea market shirt I'm wearing. My motley crew is beastie, and we enjoy the staring. I'm unemployed and daring. How dare I be so cool when it's so hot in Alabama? Sometimes we get snow too, and I'm as rare as a white Christmas in Miami. Really, the temperature's dropping on South Beach, the ocean's getting chilly. But I'm driving, my people, the party, yeah. Some drinking, get rowdy, party. And I went out with a buddy or two, and it was all and we got to the bar by the 1:45, and it was all and we got going, 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 and we got going. Yes, I jumped off the boat, and I'm sinking in my chair, cause my beer bottle does not float. Help me now. Please enjoy the show. I done come up so fast that I'm afraid of heights. I gotta go, help me down, or I'll just learn to balance somewhere between commercial dreams and music that is valid. My babies need to eat, so I create a simple sound. The fiasco threw me for a loop. Hey, I dumbed it down, slick, wicked vibe and driving. I'm driving, my people, the party, yeah. Some drinking, get rowdy, party. And I went out with a buddy or two, and it was all and we got to the bar by the 1:45, and it was all and we got going, 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 and we got going. Yeah, my people are riding in trucks and wheels are resized in such a world I reside in. Your luck runs low with your pride, and enough to keep you a fight at the club when trouble's around. I got them car keys in hand, I know what the fuck's going down. Some of these people come sick, some pop the trunk for AKs. They wanna do bodily harm, they wanna live for the day. We just came to get stupid, so give me that bottle of Crown. I take my girl to my Caprice and get the fuck out of town. Come on, girl. And I'm driving, my people, the party, yeah. Some drinking, get rowdy, party. And I went out with a buddy or two, and it was all and we got to the bar by the 1:45, and it was all and we got going, and we got going.
Did I just do that whole thing without any sound? All right. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday to everybody. Welcome to the beer stream. Oh, my God. I'm already tired, and all I did was the intro. Listen, we got a lot going on this week. We've got a real live college football game tomorrow between Miami and Florida. We also have Jim Harbaugh making all kinds of accusations, talking about cheaters. That's the reason he can't win at Michigan, is because they're a bunch of cheaters. We all know what the real truth is here. Before I get into that, though, I do want to do what I do every single week and make sure you guys know that this show and every single show from now until the end of the college football season is sponsored by BetNow.eu. Go to the link in the description of this video. Click that link if you want to deposit money, if you want to wager on football, if you want to give to a good cause. Put in the promo code Peete when you sign up. They'll give you a 100% bonus on your deposit from now until I think like the second or third week of September, maybe the second week of September. I don't know. Anyway, look, if you're gonna wager on football, use that and give to a good cause. That's what that comes down to. Before I get into what I want to talk about tonight and get to the calls, which is the most important thing, I do want to let you guys know that I have changed the number to the call-in show. So if you're one of the normal callers and you have it saved in your phone, it probably won't work if you use the old number. As a matter of fact, no, it probably won't work. It won't work. The new number is 864-207-7112. And before I get to those calls, I do want to talk about this Jim Harbaugh thing. You want to know why? You want to know why this Jim Harbaugh thing makes me so happy? It makes me so happy. And the reason is because ever since the whole Osterine scandal, if that's what you want to call it, happened at the end of last year with Clemson, and they went on to win the national title, the entire offseason, all me and other Clemson fans have been hearing is, you're a bunch of cheaters, you're a bunch of cheaters, you're a bunch of cheaters from all the SEC fans. Now look, as soon as Jim Harbaugh comes out and says that the SEC is a bunch of cheaters, all the SEC fans say, well, the only reason he's saying that is because he can't beat them. Does that sound familiar? This is great. This is great. I love every bit of it. Now, listen, I'm on the SEC side or any other side that Jim Harbaugh is arguing against on this. And the reason is because Jim Harbaugh has proven to be a loser in college football. Well, yeah, he had a few good years at Stanford in the Pac-12 with Andrew Luck. Good for you, sir. Did you ever win a title? No. You went to the NFL. You actually did pretty well for a couple years there, but you got ran out on a rail because there's something wrong with this guy. And I'm not talking about like he's got some sort of a physical disability or anything like that. There's something wrong with this guy mentally. He's a weird dude. There's something wrong with him. And his excuse for losing to Ohio State his first 4 years at Michigan, never winning his division, never making it to the playoffs, getting ran off the field by Florida last year in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. The reason for all of this is because everybody except for him must be cheating. That's how it goes. Let me check the chat real quick, and then I'll see who's on the phone lines. Good afternoon, college football maniac. Clemson Carson in the house. Florida Gator BCS 2014. Carlos Johnson. I know that guy. Carlos Johnson. I know him really good, actually. Tiger Raven 18, 2018. Slim Shady Canes. Good afternoon, ladies and sirs. Good afternoon to you, sir. Lou Patton. Crazy Bronco. MCD Sports. And Orange 1973. Eric Birch. Tiger Raven. I think I might have said Tiger Raven already. George, how you doing, sir? Nick. And I think that might be it for now. Anyway, Brody L is in the house. Notre Dame fan. All right. Good. we got enough people in here, and we're gonna open up the phone lines to see who's on there, if there is anybody on there. And it looks like I got somebody right here. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete, how you doing? Luke Hatton from Texas A&M country. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. Are you a first-time caller? I think you are.
Yes, I am. Very first-time caller. In fact, I subscribed to your channel last night, and I just wanted to call and compliment you and also Bobby Durkins. Man, I love you guys, and I really enjoy your show. And I think last year when y'all came to Texas A&M, I mean, we treated y'all like neighbors, and we really enjoyed y'all's good sportsmanship, and I just wanted to compliment y'all on that.
Well, I appreciate it, and it's on my bucket list to come to a game in College Station. I don't see any time in the foreseeable future that they're scheduled to play each other in College Station, but there's a handful of teams. I'd say there's 5 or 6 teams that I really want to go and watch a game, an away game for Clemson, and that's definitely on the list. That's an amazing place to go and experience a football game at, for sure.
Right. Well, whenever you guys come, just let us know, man. We'll treat you like family.
So now that I have you on the line, you're the first Texas A&M fan to ever call the Pigskin Pete Beer Stream live call-in show. So let me ask you, what do you? What's your hope or your belief of the outcome of the game week 2 between Clemson and A&M?
Well, that's a great question, and I just hope we can live up to the. I hope we can do as well this year as we did last year. I'll put it that way. I think we have a lot of respect for Clemson, and if we can just make a game of it like we did last year, I'll be happy.
Well, that's the way I see it. I think that, not me included, but I think a lot of Clemson fans think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be closer than people think. Look, I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't know how many of my videos you've seen because you said you've just recently become a subscriber, but I'm not a big fan of Jimbo Fisher. I respect him as a coach. I think he's one of the top 5 coaches in America. He's been one of the top 5 coaches in America probably for the past 10 or 15 years at least. I'm not a big fan of him personally, though. So how do you feel about Jimbo? I mean, I know you're got to be glad to have him because he's a winner, but how do you feel about him personally, as a person?
Well, that's another good question. I really admire Jimbo because he has had to overcome a lot of obstacles. In fact, he has a son that's sort of mentally challenged, and he devotes a lot of personal work to that organization to help children like his son, and everything that he's done. For example, he called off practice early one day last week because the team just wasn't focused like he wanted them to. So from everything that we can see here, we really like the guy.
No, I get that part of it. If I was a Texas A&M fan, I would be welcoming Jimbo Fisher with open arms. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I guess maybe, I don't know, I have more experience with him being a Clemson fan. We were in the same division as him for a long time. And so I followed him very closely throughout his Florida State career. And he seems to me, the reason I don't like him that much is he's a double talker. He'll say one thing sometime, and then when it fits the different narrative, he'll say the exact opposite the next week. He had the whole soliloquy he did 2 years ago at the ACC media days where he made a case where the ACC was had taken over as the premier football conference, and he gave all sorts of stats to back it up, that fit his narrative. And then at day one, when he went to Texas A&M, he went to the SEC media days and basically said that the SEC was the premier conference, and basically flip-flopped on everything he said. And listen, I understand that. If you're a coach, you're gonna, whatever conference you go to, you're gonna build up your conference. I don't have a problem with that. But on top of that, the way that he left Florida State in shambles was pretty embarrassing. I mean, he really he did some people wrong there. And, I don't know. I think he's going to be very successful at Texas A&M, so you probably don't have to worry about, what he did at Florida State, him doing the same thing at Texas A&M in the near future. But there may come a point down the road where he does do a similar type of thing if things don't work out the way that he wants it to. That's my point.
Yeah. Well, I think from what we hear in Texas, we hear that he just didn't have the the backup to give him great facilities, which I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't know if that's truthful or not. And so I think what happened was what attracted him to A&M was the fact that the facilities were so good, and obviously $75 million doesn't hurt either. So I think, and of course his good friend who's now at LSU recruited him to come to Texas A&M. So
Right.
I think there were a number of factors in his thinking. And I guess when Jameis Winston left, I guess he felt like the cupboard was kind of bare at Florida State, and I guess he thought it was a good time to move. I don't know.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him at all. I really don't. I have a personal problem with Jimbo Fisher personally, but listen, there's no denying, nobody can debate that he is an elite head football coach, and he will get Texas A&M. I believe that Texas A&M is next in line behind Alabama, or maybe even sooner, maybe even before Saban leaves. That I think Texas A&M will eventually become the premier program, the team to beat in the SEC West. So you got a good guy as far as that goes.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, and thanks, Pete. And I sure enjoy your show, and I'm glad I subscribed. And good luck to Clemson. Okay.
All right, man. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, there you guys have it. A Texas A&M fan. That's really great that he called in. I got another call on the line here, though. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, Big Skin P, it's McGee Sports 4.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I have 4 things. My first question is, am I supposed to refer to you as Howard's Rock, or can I still refer to you as Pigskin Pete?
You know, I'm glad you asked me that, sir. That's a great question, because there seems to be some confusion about what's going on here, and that's probably my fault. I wasn't very clear on exactly what was happening here. I am still Pigskin Pete. I will always be Pigskin Pete. As a matter of fact, for all the people that go over to howardsrock.net whenever that launches, you're going to be seeing Pigskin Pete over there too. Okay. Now the name of my YouTube channel will change very shortly, maybe in the next couple of days, most likely, to howardsrock.net. And that's just because it's coincided with the website. But I am always going to be Pigskin Pete. That's not going away. Listen, I still own this YouTube channel. Everything that happens on this YouTube channel is me. It's Pigskin Pete. But, I mean, I'm putting all my energy into building howardsrock.net and creating exclusive content for Clemson fans. And listen, not even Clemson fans, Pigskin Pete fans, to go over there. And it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a network of a lot of different fans from a lot of different teams. I'm just happen to be representing Clemson with howardsrock.net. So to answer your question, yes, I am still Pigskin Pete. Pigskin Pete's not going anywhere. So you can refer to me as Pigskin Pete.
Okay, sounds good. My second and third question kind of go along with each other. I just want to get your quick thoughts on both of the games tomorrow night. The obviously the big one, and also the Arizona-Hawaii one as well.
Right. All right. So which one do you want me to start with? Because listen, I'm long-winded, man. I can talk for about 10 minutes without you saying a word. So which one do you want me to start with?
Let's go with.
Let's go with
the big one first.
As a matter of fact, before I get into my long-winded answer, what do you think about it? What do you think about Miami and Florida?
I think it's going to be a kind of low-scoring game. I think it'll go back and forth. I think Miami's going to be a pretty good. I think they're going to play really good defensively. But at the end, I do think Florida's going to come up on top, 24-14.
24-14. So you think 10 points. All right. So what do you think about the Hawaii and Arizona game?
It'll be a shootout, but I'm going to go with Arizona 48-40.
You said 48-40?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's actually reasonable. So as far as I listened to the excuse me, I'm drinking beer, so I'm burping. I listened just before I started this stream. I listened to the Bet Now video that Volunteer Roadshow, of course, Catfish and Billy Ratliff put out, and I
saw that.
Yeah, so Billy Ratliff agreed with me because I did the same video where I picked against the spread for those two teams, and I picked Miami at +7.5. So as far as who's going to win the game, if I had, if someone's going to put a gun to my head and say pick a winner, I'm going to pick Miami. But I think that it's so hard to pick. It's so hard to pick. Anybody that picks is just guessing. That's the bottom line here. It doesn't matter whether it's me or you or the biggest betting shark in Vegas. It's just a guess because there's so much turnover in so many different areas for both these teams, and it's the first game of the year and that whole thing. I just happen to believe it's going to be a closer game than people think. Now, if Florida went out there and won by 21, I would not be shocked. So I know people are waiting for that to happen so they can come tell me how stupid I am and how I've never seen a football game. But I would not also be surprised if Miami went out there and won by 14. So that's how unsure I am about this. But I think it's going to be closer than people think it's going to be. So I'll take Miami at with plus 7.5, and I think the winner will win by less than a touchdown. That's my final prediction on that. Now, as far as the Hawaii and Arizona game goes, listen, Hawaii is they're not much different than Washington State. They run the run and gun, fun and gun, air raid offense where they throw it 90 million times a game and they rack up 1 million yards. If they're playing against either equal or lesser talent. But the problem is, Arizona is not equal or lesser talent. They're actually more talented than Miami is or than Hawaii is. And so I believe that Arizona is going to win this game pretty comfortably. I think they'll win by a couple touchdowns.
Okay. Sounds good. And one other quick point I want to make involving the Jim Harbaugh thing. The only reason Jim Harbaugh is making those comments is because he's jealous of the SEC, and he's hoping that Auburn spot, Ole Miss spot opens up so he could slide on in and be the head coach so he could finish fourth in the SEC West. And I hope my Terps destroy them this year. Thanks for taking my call, Pete, and go Terps.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Listen, he made a good point there. Listen, Jim Harbaugh is only chirping because Jim Harbaugh is Jim Harbaugh, and he's a loser in college football. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete. How's it going?
What's up, man? How you doing?
It's Slim Shady Kane. How are you this afternoon?
What's up, dude? Hey, are you in a car or something?
Yeah, actually, I'm on my way down to Orlando at the moment.
Oh, cool. Are you on speakerphone? Is there anything you can do? There you go. That's better.
Yeah, I took it. It was connected to the car.
All right, awesome. That's much, much better. Thank you. All right, so you're on the way to Orlando.
Sorry about that.
Where are you at right now?
Somewhere in Mississippi.
All right, so that means you're traveling from west of Mississippi, or do you live in Mississippi?
Actually, I live about an hour north of Memphis.
Awesome. All right, so are you gonna listen? Give me your plans. I mean, I know you're going down there to bring the heat, to bring the Canes. Did you bring your turnover chain with you? Who are you meeting up with? What are you doing? What's your plans between now and kickoff?
Between now and kickoff, let's see. I should hit Orlando somewhere around midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm going to go, I've got the hotel Alonzo is staying in. I'm going to go bang down his door. I got the hotel, the Wholesome one is staying in. I'm going to go bang down his door. And I also, believe it or not, I'm staying in the same hotel as the Florida Gators. So Felipe Franks may just get a wake-up call.
That sounds like you got it all planned out, man. So you're gonna go meet up with a bunch of with some hardcore Miami fans. I mean, you don't have to tell them. I don't want to get you in trouble or nothing. But are you planning on doing some partying tonight and tomorrow night, or what?
Oh, plenty, absolutely. Like I said, not so much tonight because it's going to be rather late when I get in. Unfortunately, my wife had to work half day today.
All right, well, I know you won't see my stream tomorrow because I'll be streaming the game live because you'll be at the game. But so give me your final thoughts on this game. I mean, it's been like 8, 9, 10 weeks of straight trash talking between the Gators and the Canes. And a lot of things have changed between now and the beginning of that trash talking. So what's your final word? I mean, give me your final testimony right here for everybody that's on the stream right now. What's your final testimony? Let me know how you feel about the Gators. Let me know how you feel about the Canes and how you think this whole thing is going to turn out.
Well, mild correction, if anybody here has also been watching Uncle Lou, I've been trash talking the Gators since February. But as far as the game tomorrow night goes, listen, these Florida fans that keep calling for a 48-12 blowout, I mean, quit huffing air duster. Okay.
So what's your final? Give me your final. I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Give me your final prediction for the game as far as the score goes.
Score is going to be 21-17 Miami. These are two good defenses, two bad offensive lines. We know Felipe Franks is a bad quarterback. We don't know about Jaron Williams, but he's an automatic upgrade over Malik Rozier from last year. So I think our offense right off the bat is just going to be better than it was last year. But I think they are going to have to rely on the run game to help him out, help him get comfortable.
I agree. I have a little bit of a different philosophy about the low scoring thing. I mean, I do think it's going to be lower scoring than most college football games. But let's be real. Most college football games these days score 60 and 70 points between the two teams at minimum. So I believe that just because, both teams have some questions on offense, I still think it's going to be higher scoring than people think, because I believe that whether it's Miami or Florida or both, they're going to score some defensive touchdowns. And at the very least, if they don't score defensive touchdowns, they're going to get the ball and, turnovers in position to put the offense to at least put some points on the board. So I'm looking for it to be over what Vegas says. Vegas says 47 points over under. I have it at over. What would you say, 27-20? Is that what you said?
I figured 21-17.
Okay.
But,
all right.
I mean, you do have a point. I could see that happening, especially given the offenses Dan Mullen has produced in the past and Dan Enos has produced in the past.
Right.
So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And that what you said about special teams, that's something Manny Diaz said in his pregame presser a couple of days ago. They're putting a special emphasis on special teams because, first games of the year tend to be the sloppiest. So he's putting an extra special emphasis on special teams, figuring that could be one of the key differences in the game over who wins or loses.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just feel like that everybody's hyping up Florida. And maybe, you know what? Maybe Florida's going to be that good this year. Maybe they really are. I don't know. But I'm just telling you that I'm not buying Florida at being the team that everybody says they're going to be, being a top 10 team, until they can prove it to me. And we'll see what they're made of on tomorrow night. And so, listen, you already know how I feel about this. I'm rooting for the Canes. I'm all about the U for the next whatever it is, 27 hours or however long it is. But we'll see what happens, man. And I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a close game no matter what happens, and I hope the Canes can pull it out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a close game no matter what. And as far as the Gators being overrated for this year, I completely agree, because just the simple fact is, you were just talking about Jim Harbaugh. He may be a better coach than Dan Mullen, to be perfectly honest with you.
Now you're really that's some serious trash talk right there.
I just call it like I see it. I mean, they hype up Dan Mullen. What has this guy ever done as a head coach? Ever?
I know. I get it. Yeah, he's never won. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, literally, Jim Harbaugh has gotten closer to winning his division than Dan Mullen.
That is true. You know what? You're starting to turn me on this. I'm starting to agree with you. First of all, listen. I hate Jim Harbaugh. I just do. I mean, it's not. I don't even have a problem with Michigan, because I don't have any. There's no rivalry between Clemson and Michigan, and I don't even hate the Big Ten. I just don't like Jim Harbaugh. I think he's a jerk. I think he talks out both sides of his mouth, and I wouldn't trust my kid to go play for him. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and then he's just kind of creepy on top of that, having sleepovers at recruits' houses.
Exactly. All right, listen. Hey, Slim Shady Canes, man. I got 2 more calls on the line. I got to go. But, hey, be safe, be careful, and most importantly, have fun. And I'm going to check in with you after the game and get your report on everything that happened, man.
All right, brother. Sounds good.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, all right, you too.
You guys have it, Slim Shady Canes. I know this area code right here. I'm gonna pick this up real quick. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Pete,
Yo,
how you doing, buddy?
what's up, man? Who's this?
This is Eric Birch, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Eric? I'm getting all kind of damn new callers tonight. Eric, I'm glad you called in, brother.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to finally call.
Eric has been a
Yeah, I've been working a lot, so.
yeah. Listen, it is what it is, man. We all got real life going on. Eric has been a long time subscriber and commenter and supporter of mine on YouTube, so I want to go ahead and thank you for that first and foremost. But I'm glad you finally were able to call in. So, what you got on your mind, man?
Man, it's that time, brother. It's that time. I've been waiting a long, long time.
So, who do you got tomorrow night for this game, Florida or Miami?
I'm pretty much like everyone else. It's going to be a really close game. It's going to be one of the classics in the city. And I think Miami will pull it out. I think everyone and their cousins underestimating Miami and overestimating Florida.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Florida's got a great team, but we match up so well with them in all the areas. And both our weaknesses are our offensive line. I think we have a better defensive front than they do. And couple that with the stud linebackers we have, I think that could be the deciding factor.
I think you might be right. See, you said a minute ago. You said that you think like most people it's going to be close. But what I've seen, really, I've seen a lot of Miami fans thinking it's going to be close, but I've seen a lot of Florida fans saying it's not going to be close. So.
Yeah. Well, see, there's more realism, and then there's the wow. Yeah, than the delusional, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. So if you had to, I
love my.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I love my Canes, but I am real too. I know it's gonna be a great one.
So outside of the Florida game tomorrow night, obviously that's what that's important because it's right now and that's what everyone's focusing on. But really, the goal for Miami this year is not necessarily to beat Florida. That's a goal right now, but after tomorrow night, it's not the goal anymore. The goal is to win the Coastal Division and face most likely Clemson, right, in the ACC title. So outside of having to play Clemson most likely in the title game, who do you consider to be the biggest threat that Miami is going to see this year in the Coastal Division?
I would say Virginia, because I think Tech took a step back. I don't think, especially now that Bud Foster is retiring, I think that's going to weigh a lot on the team. I don't think it's going to be that. Oh, let's win one for the coach this year. I don't think it's going to be like that.
Right.
Virginia, they probably got the best quarterback in the Coastal. So
I agree.
I think that's going to be the game to look out for.
You know what my biggest fear for Miami is, as an ACC guy, because I want Miami to do well. I really do. Whatever happens in the ACC title game, it doesn't matter to me at this point. It's way too early to talk about that. But I want not just Miami. I want a couple of teams in the Coastal Division to step up and to get better. And to prove to people that they're better than they that people project them to be. And that is definitely Miami, and that's definitely Virginia Tech. Now, Virginia's getting all the love right now. And I think it's a little bit premature. Listen, I'm starting to jump on the Virginia bandwagon a little bit and buy into all the hype. But let's be real here. Virginia hasn't done nothing ever. And not only that, as bad as Virginia Tech was last year, and let's be real, Virginia Tech was one of the worst teams in the country last year. They got beat by, who was it, Old Dominion? And then Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they got beat bad.
Yeah, and then Virginia Tech still beat Virginia. Virginia is like 0 for the past 10 years against Virginia Tech. So
yeah, they got that Virginia Tech funk. They can't get that funk off of them. It's just bad.
Right. So I think that Virginia Tech is going to be better this year, And so, there's a couple of trap games. Virginia Tech's one of them with Miami. I think North Carolina's a trap game.
Oh, that's always.
Yeah, because of the unknown thing there. I mean, first of all, Miami should be favored in all these games in the Coastal. Let's get that out of the way. But still, Virginia Tech's a trap game. North Carolina's a trap game. I would not consider Georgia Tech to be a trap game at all. You guys should blow the doors off of them. Who else? Duke. I mean, Duke's a trap game. You got a schedule full of trap games this year, really.
Oh yeah. I mean, and Pitt. It don't matter even if they're down. They, still could be a trap game.
Good point. Yes, exactly. Pitt as well. That's basically half of your schedule is traps, and that's odd.
Yeah.
To say that. Yeah.
And I agree with you with Virginia. They're getting a little bit more love than they should. I mean, Miami held them 13 points, and we rotated the two quarterbacks like every other series. It was just terrible offense. I mean, terrible play calling. I mean, I don't even want to think about that again. But
well, Miami's offense.
We could have easily won a game.
Listen, Miami's offense last year, they had a top 10 defense in the country. They had a top 3 defense in the ACC, maybe top 2. I don't know. But their offense was so hard to watch, even for me. It just was hard. And
yeah.
They can't get worse. I think they're going to be better on offense, hopefully a lot better. I mean, even coming from a Clemson guy,
well,
I hope they play a lot better.
Well, yeah, I mean, bringing in Dan Enos, a.k.a. the quarterback whisperer, I think he'll get them straight, and we'll be competitive on the offensive side.
I agree. So I got a couple of other calls on here, so give me your last statement, your last thoughts, sir.
Actually, just love watching your show, brother, and just love sneaking in there, getting a comment about my boy Pete, and getting a response. It's all great.
I love it, man. Keep commenting, keep watching, and by the way, keep calling too throughout the season. I'd love to hear your opinion, and thank you for calling.
I definitely will, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, man. All right, guys. There's Eric Birch, and I got another call on the line. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, good afternoon. Long time no see. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm good.
Well, how can I help you? Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Concert. 45. Long time no see. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess I can start with giving my thoughts on Florida versus Miami. I still think Florida's going to do it 34-17. That's my prediction.
That's it.
I think Frank's will throw.
That's a decent prediction. Are you on speakerphone?
Oh, sorry. No, I'm in an airport.
Oh. Are you inside the plane engine?
No.
Oh, it sounds like you are.
Yeah, well, I should be on the plane right now, but it's delayed.
All right. Well, you know what I normally do when I go to airports?
What?
I usually just go sit at the first bar. I don't know. I'll find a TGI Fridays or I don't know. Do they even have Applebee's in airports anymore? I don't know. If they do, I usually go to the bar while I'm waiting on my plane and slam as many beers as I possibly can until the plane takes off. That way, whenever the captain says to raise your chair back and put your tray table up, I'm so hammered that I don't even care that the plane's going 300 miles an hour on the runway, and I just pass out. And hopefully I'll sleep the entire time until we touch down. That's the way I do it. How do you do it? How do you do it, though?
That's not going to work for me. I'm too young to drink, so I can't really do what you do.
Right.
I mean, I'll turn 20 in 2 days, so but still, that's not going to cut it.
Yeah. Hey, if you're
I personally don't mind.
I do not condone underage drinking, so do not do that. I'm just telling you. Listen, I'm almost 40. I do it. But anyway, I walked right into that one.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so I guess back to football. I unfortunately will not be able to watch the game. I'll probably check the box score at around 9 o'clock or so.
Where are you going to be that you can't watch the game?
Bandcamp. Also, internet is trash there.
Okay. Well, here's what you have to do.
Yeah,
Here's my best advice. Download the reminder click the reminder button for Pigsky and Pete's live stream of the game. And then as soon as you get out of band camp and get into a Wi-Fi area, the first thing you should do is go click the YouTube video and watch the stream, because I'm going to have the best analysis and live play-by-play reaction than anybody you're going to watch. Kirk Herbstreit, who's that?
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
Good. But I like your prediction.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't think I can stick around too much. Like, my battery's starting to die, so, like, it was really nice talking to you. I'll try to see you next week.
All right, man. Have fun on that plane. I hope you don't sit next to. I hope you don't sit next to a crying baby. I appreciate it.
Don't worry, I'll sit next to my grandmother. That's okay.
Yes, that's
but
fine.
I hope no crying babies in the vicinity.
Hey, I bet your grandmother has the same philosophy of flying as Pigsky and Pete does.
Maybe. I'll ask.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Tyler, crazy Bronco.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? This is like the mecca of new calls tonight from new callers. How you doing, man?
I'm good. You? I'm good.
I'm amazing, and I'm fantastic, and I'm sure you are too.
Oh, I am. I can't wait for college football, dude. I can't wait.
Well, you don't have to wait too much longer. It's literally about 27 hours from kickoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just thought I would call because I've seen your videos for about a year now, and I just subscribed to you last night or this morning, I think. And I just got to say, I respect you, dude. You are one of the best YouTubers I have seen. So.
Well, I don't even know how to respond to
you
that
are
because most
you are a class act.
Thank you.
I think.
Well, that's great. Well, the fact that you just subscribed last night makes me think that probably within 3 weeks you will have a different opinion of me. It's just my. that's usually how
I think
it goes.
the first video I saw you, I first time I watched it was the preview of the national championship game.
And when was that? Listen, you got to understand, I make videos probably about 5-6 days a week. So.
Oh, geez. That was somewhere in January, the week before the game.
Oh, so it's been that long. Okay. So if you like me by now, you probably still like me. All right, good. Then you're one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Listen, you wouldn't believe how many people come on here and tell me, I love your videos. You're very non-biased, because I'm non-biased against their team in that video. And then 2 weeks later, they're on the same person's in my comments telling me how much I suck and how much they hate me. And then they unsubscribe.
And I'm probably the first group of 5 fan to call in.
Oh, so this Broncos thing in your name, that's not the Denver Broncos. You're talking about the Boise State Broncos?
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, I even like you even more, because for a Boise State fan to be that hardcore, you've already earned my respect. So there you go. So let me talk. Listen, you guys play Florida State. What is it, week 2?
Yeah, week 1.
Week 1.
Next weekend.
All right. So how do you see that game going? It's in Florida State, right? In Tallahassee?
No, it is in Orlando.
Well, all right. It's in Florida. All right. So how do you see the game going?
Yeah. So how I see it, Florida State should win, but how I see it, we might have a true freshman playing as our QB, but if we win, our D line, they say is a top 15 best group, like in the nation. I think if our D line controls their O line, I think we could win and control their QB. But I truly think Florida State could win by 10 at least.
Man, not only are you a Broncos fan, not only are you a fan of mine, so that's 2 things that I like about you right off the bat. But you just picked your team to lose, and you didn't even sound mad about it.
No, I mean, they are a bigger program. They have way better athletes. And we played Oklahoma State last year at Oklahoma State. And their receivers killed our secondary. And so, and we have the same secondary coming back. And Florida State has better receivers, too. So I'm thinking I think if we win, it's because of our defense. That's how I see it.
I think I would probably disagree. Well, you know more about Boise State than I do. I believe me, I don't know anything about the roster or anything. So I'm sure I'm vastly inferior to you as far as knowing what Boise State's capable of doing. I look at this game between Boise State and Florida State, and I look at it as if Florida State better win this game. Now, I know if you've been watching me since January, you know how I feel. I want Florida State to win this game, just to save face for the ACC and to make Florida State a better opponent whenever we play them. That whole dynamic of that. But
I agree. I respect them.
But
I respect them. So,
but look at last year, and I'm not saying last year has nothing to do with this year. I'm not saying that, but Florida State struggled against some non-Power 5 teams last year. They almost lost a football game early in the season. I can't even remember who it was to. So I mean, Boise State's better than whoever they almost lost to last year. So they better have their chin strap, buckled up tight, and better not take this game lightly at all. And
oh no.
Yeah,
I agree.
But here,
I mean, I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not expecting to win. I would be shocked if we win. If we have a true freshman that could be the starter, which he's been fighting for it, but I think he will be. His name is Hank Brashaw. He got offered by Arkansas, Ole Miss, LSU, I believe, and he was a 4-star guy. He came to BSU, which is kind of shocking. Mm-hmm. He chose them over but I mean, I think if we win, it's because of our defense.
All right. Well, I'll take your word for it. Before we get off the phone, though, and listen, I can't thank you enough for being a first-time caller, a supporter of mine, telling me that I'm one of the best guys on YouTube. You're already one of my favorites just for saying those two things. But before we get off the phone here, you've been way too nice to Florida State, and what I want you to do is say whatever comes to your mind without being profane. Say the nastiest and most horrible things that you think about Florida State and Willie Taggart. Please.
Willie Taggart is a crappy coach.
Okay.
Plain and simple. He is a horrible coach.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, I mean, Florida State deserves better, and I'm a college football fan. When Florida State's good and USC is good, Southern Cal, college football is great.
I agree, and same with Miami.
Yep, same with them, and I think Miami will be better too. I think.
Well, they better be.
I don't think they will win tomorrow night, I believe, but I think they will be better.
Well, for Miami fans, it's hard not to be better than you were last year. Number one, number two, it's hard not to be better in the ACC than you've been for the past 20 years since you've joined it, since you've never won it. But now we're going, yeah.
By the way, I am going to try to come to South Carolina for a Clemson game. I'm going to try.
This year?
Maybe this year or next year.
Okay. The game I'll be at this year is Florida State, and that's on October 12th. And
my birthday is October 13th.
So maybe you should get somebody to buy you a birthday gift, and you can come hang out with us at the tailgate. That'd be fun.
That'd be badass.
Yeah, man. All right, listen, I appreciate you calling in. You're amazing. You're fantastic.
Thank you, Pete.
And more importantly, you're a fan of Pigskin Pete, and that's really all that matters. Thanks for calling in, man.
Well, sweet. Thank you, bro, and have a great day, bud.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, I got another call on the line here. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Pigskin Pete, Cody Lasson, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Cody? Man, this is like the Hall of Fame tonight.
Yeah, man, I actually just got home. I saw you on. I figured I'd call in. I didn't know if you were getting ready to hop off or not. But, yeah, man, all my content is Panthers content, so I don't ever really get a chance to talk my Clemson Tigers, man. But I'm pumped for the season, man. And I wanted to tell you congratulations on your big news. I was in the live chat when you made the announcement, and, hey, man, salute to you, man. Big things on the horizon.
I really appreciate that. I'm glad you called in, and yeah, thank you for the well wishes. Working round the clock on this howardsrock.net site, and I think people really like it. But anyway, you said no. First of all, we're both Panthers fans, so we could probably talk.
Yes, sir.
We could probably talk for an hour straight about Panthers, but nobody wants to hear that. And really, to be honest with you, I'm so disappointed with the Panthers right now that I really don't want to talk about it. So. You are also a Clemson fan, and so what's on your mind? I mean, what's tickling the inside of your eardrum as far as what's going on with Clemson this year? What's your predictions? All the hate coming our way. How do you feel about all that? Just give me the rundown, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm just really excited, man. Jackson Carman, our new left tackle. That's the name that I'm kind of looking out for. We're having to replace Mitch Hyatt, and he's been there forever and a day, almost as long as Hunter Renfrow, if not longer. And that's an important piece, man. That's the guy that we stole from Ohio State. And I'm excited to see what he can do, man. I think this offensive line is going to be really good. And I'm just excited, man. I want to see, everyone made a huge to-do about Trevor Lawrence this season. And rightfully so, man. What freshman does that to Alabama? But I want to see what it looks like in year two, because I remember, he put some balls down the field that kind of missed the mark, that were a little bit too high or just a little bit off path. And, I want to see if he's able to take that next step forward, man, because of the hype around him right now. It's otherworldly, man. I mean, everyone's talking him being a first-round pick, the best Clemson quarterback maybe ever, and this is right after Deshaun Watson. Right. I mean, there's just so many pieces right now that are in play that I'm just pumped, man. I'm ready for this season opener. Not long here in the future, man. And that Texas A&M game, oh my God, I'm pumped for that one, man. I'm ready for the season to start.
Yes, I agree. First, before I get into answering that, I do want to recognize I got a super chat from the real McCoy for $4.99. He said we should call Florida versus Miami the battle of the has-beens instead of the week 0 battle. Listen, thank you for the super chat, sir. I'm sorry I missed it earlier. But, yes, listen, any Clemson fan that's not excited about this year, I mean, I don't think there is any. Here's the thing, though. I realize that Clemson right now is the favorite in everybody's mind, and they should be with what's coming back on offense. Even with what they lost on defense, the other half of the defense, the back end of it's going to be even better than they were last year. Definitely better than they were last year. Maybe better than they have been for, this part of this decade. And look, Trevor Lawrence he's not going to get worse. He's going to get better, and the talent around him is so unbelievable that it's hard to not believe that they can't, win every game they play, at least until the playoff time. So I'm all on board for all of that, and I'm all in, and I'm just as confident as everybody else. But there is this little piece of me, the realist inside of me, that is just a little bit skeptical. And I know this is not what Clemson fans like to hear, because believe me, just me saying this will get 100 comments telling me you're not a real fan or whatever. But here's the reality of the situation. I don't care how much talent you have. I don't care who your coach is. I don't care what conference you play in. I don't care how many games you're projected to win by how many points. You still got to go out there and do it. And winning titles back to back is maybe the hardest thing to do in all of sports. So there's that little that piece of me that even if they go 12-0 and run through the ACC and beat Texas A&M and blow the doors off of South Carolina and then beat Miami or Virginia Tech or whoever it is in the ACC title game by 50 points, and then go out there and beat Oklahoma by 20 points in the first round of the playoffs, whoever they're playing in that 15th game, it's not a given. Any year, every year. So I am very skeptical, and I'm gonna keep the cards close to my vest on this year for sure. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. And, it's funny that you mentioned that. And listen, you and I know better than anyone. I mean, there will be a year when Pitt will beat us at home, and then we'll still go on and win the national championship. Like, there's always that one team, and lately it's been Syracuse the past 2 years in a row. That, right. Dude, they just hand us our ass, man, even when we're winning the football game. And I don't know, man. Like, you can never, believe the hype. Oh, man, Clemson, now they've dethroned Alabama, and they've done this and that. And, of course, that's where, as a biased fan, I feel that we're headed. But the work that goes into putting in a dynasty like what Alabama built. And I do feel confident that we can do it. I feel like a lot of Clemson fans are sleeping on the fact that we'd have to replace an entire defensive line. I mean, those guys all went to the NFL. And even though we have guys like Xavier Thomas, KJ Henry, 5-star players that are so talented, I mean, you're talking about guys that have never been in that spot before. I mean, it's hard to replace a Dexter Lawrence and a Christian Wilkins and a Cleveland Farrell. I mean, those guys don't just come around. So there are going to be some that are closer than a lot of Clemson fans are prepared for. But one of the things that I love about what Dallas Sweeney does is we play our best football as the season goes on. So early on, people doubt us, and then, we have some games where we'll give up a bunch of points, but then Venables and Dabo, they right the ship, and they know how to do this. They're veterans. They've been on this team forever now. They want to be a part of what we're doing. And, man, it's going to take a while for that defense to come together. But I have no doubt that it will. But it's going to take some time, and we're going to have some ugly patches there.
And that's my biggest concern, really, is not the talent. We've got more talent, or just as good a talent as anybody in the country, including Alabama or anybody else. It's the fact that the leadership, especially on the defensive side of the ball, or on the defensive line anyway, they're all gone now. And so it's going to be, listen, I'm not saying that the guys that are taking over for those guys can't become leaders as well, but you don't become a leader just because you got the starting position. You got to prove yourself as a leader. And so I think that's really what most Clemson fans are looking at, is who's going to be that guy. Is it going to be Xavier Thomas? Is it going to be Maskell or one of these other guys that steps up and takes over that leadership role on the defensive line? And we're going to find out together. But the biggest problem is that Clemson is unfortunate enough to play in the ACC right now where they are down. Yep. And so they can't afford any hiccups. There could be a scenario where if Clemson loses a close game to anybody, that they get left out of the playoffs just because they're in the ACC. And that's not Clemson's fault. That's the ACC's fault, but it is what it is. And so I just hope that there's a leader on that defense that can step up and when it comes down to it, like the game last year against Syracuse. I mean, they had us on the ropes. They had us beat. And you know what it was that won that game? It was not only the amazing play from Chase Bryce on 4th down, but it was the veteran leadership on that defensive line that kept that game from getting out of hand and us losing that game. So that's something that we're going to have to rebuild this year. But we don't have the luxury of waiting till week 8 for that, because we play our 2 toughest games in week 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, right off the. I mean, in my mind though, that early test, that week 1 and week 2, if we're able to make it by that and we're relatively injury free, man, it's like really. I mean, of course there could be those surprises, those Syracuse, like we mentioned, but I mean, from there it really is. It does seem like smooth sailing in the ACC, and I think it's so good that we play so many of our people. Like a lot of the guys that are playing defense this year, they were able to play. I mean, because we got up so many points so early in those games last year that we were able to play 3rd and 4th string. So it's not like we're fielding a defense that hasn't played any football. I mean, these guys have been there and they've been doing it, and they've played meaningful snaps, and that's important to what we're doing. I didn't get a chance to talk to you when the whole thing kind of happened, and then I'll jump off here and let some other callers talk to you. But the whole Kelly Bryant issue that happened a little while ago, and Dabo deciding to not send him a ring, and we wouldn't have been able to go as far without him, and I take nothing away from him. I'm happy that the man had the option to leave and explore other scenarios. But with that said, literally the game after he left, that's when we needed him the most, and he was not there for us.
Exactly.
So why is that entitled to a championship football, or to a football ring? And then another thing, let's say, and the last point I wanted to make, and the people kind of get wrong about the Kelly Bryant situation. Okay, let's say Kelly Bryant isn't there for Texas A&M, and we lose. Okay, so what? We're still going to win the ACC, and then we're still going to go on to the playoffs, and we still have Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
So even if Kelly Bryant was the reason that we won Texas A&M, it doesn't matter. We were a championship team without him, and I feel that he's not deserving of a championship ring, and Dabo was not wrong or petty for not sending him that ring.
Look,
in fact, he let Bryant go.
Here's the bottom line. A lot of ifs, ands, and buts, but look, Clemson had the best football team top to bottom in college football last year, period, bar none. They proved it. With or without Kelly Bryant, they would have won the national title. Nobody can tell me whether or not they would have won that Texas A&M game without Kelly Bryant or not. They can give their opinion on it all they want, but they have no idea because Kelly Bryant played 3/4 of the snaps in that game. Look, here's the bottom line. Do you think if there's anybody out there that thinks that Nick Saban, if Nick Saban was the coach at Clemson and not Dabo Swinney, and the same exact thing happened last year, would Nick Saban have sent Kelly Bryant a championship ring? The answer to that is a big fat N-O.
Hell no.
And I don't care who you are.
Hell no.
If you are a fan of a team out there and your head coach does send quitters rings, then that's the reason you're not winning football games or national championships. So you need to reevaluate who your head coach is. Thank you, sir.
100%, man. Well, listen, I just wanted to show some love, man. I haven't gotten a chance to talk some Clemson football. You know I love what you do, man. Always show support. And I see you in the Cat Chronicles chat room from time to time, too. So
yes.
I appreciate you showing love, man.
Yes, everybody go check him out, the Cat Chronicles. Big-time Panther fan. Hey, before you get off real quick, I got another call, but are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. In 10 words or less. No, let's do it different. In 5 words or less. Give me your thoughts on the Panthers season as a whole. This, your optimism or lack thereof for the next season. I know you're optimistic. Go ahead.
Oh man, I don't know. That's a bombshell for a last question. I'll just say this.
I said 5 words or less.
Preseason doesn't matter.
I said 5 words or less.
I know, man. I'm still optimistic. But I'm concerned. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, that's perfect.
I'm a little bit concerned.
I'm still optimistic, but I'm concerned. That's 5. That's perfect, and that's a perfect way to end this call. Thank you, Cody, for calling in. I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, much love, brother. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. There you guys go. Have it. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
F the Gators.
Ramon. I've been waiting for you to call in,
man,
bro.
Check this out, Pete.
I'm sitting here getting all these calls, all these new callers calling in, and I'm sitting here thinking it's the night before the game, and the only person that's missing from this stream before I stop it is my man, the number 1 Kane, my man Ramon Jordan. How you doing, sir? He said F the Gators. That's the first thing he said was F the Gators.
Man, I almost went in the studio and dropped a Tupac Biggie style disc for these boys, but I didn't want to drop that many F-bombs. I mean, I chose to walk the path of the light now, so I'm gonna keep my profanity down. But man, check this out, man. We got 1 day till we touch down in Orlando. Like I said, I'm right up there with 4 Gators, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not stressing. They can get in my ear the whole time, that whole 2-hour drive to Orlando, because I know one thing that happened. Once we touch down in the city and the big lights is on and the chain is coming out more times than they're going to be able to deal with. I might have to Uber back, but I'm going to figure it out because we cracking some heads tomorrow. Scores will roll.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. First of all, I hope you have a good time. Second of all, I hope that Uber ride is a joyful one instead of an angry one. And I'm going to be riding with the Canes, man. I don't know. Where'd you say you're going to be at during the game? You're going to be at the game?
Yeah. I'm going to the game. I'm around with my family, but like I said, they're gonna be so mad they probably ain't gonna let me ride back with them. So I have to figure it out.
Well, damn, there's so many people going to the game. You're the third person that called in tonight, I think, that's going to the game. So man. Yeah, so I'll be streaming the game live, but obviously, yeah, I mean, you're gonna be at the game. That's much more important. But I'm losing viewers from my live stream. Like you guys are dropping like flies. But listen, I hope you have a great time. Listen, here's my advice to you. First of all, have fun. Second of all, be safe. Third of all, don't beat up any Gator fans unless there's nobody around to witness it, so you don't go to jail. And fourth of all, call in and my next call-in show and let me know how much fun you had and how many Gator fans you did beat up. That's my stipulations.
Oh, I get you, man. But here's the thing, man. You don't kick a man when they're down. That's just what I live by. So if I see somebody that not mentally, emotionally distraught, like I would never, I would never do that. I'm here to uplift people. I let the scoreboard just resonate with them. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to face that. It's like once everything settles in and reality settles in, and they realize that the same shit they've been going on for 30 years is still going on, then they got to deal with that. And eventually they got to either step in the mirror and say this is us, or cry about it for another 6 years like they always do till they play us again.
So are you gonna go to the game day thing tomorrow, or are you just going to the game? The game, you know what? Game day is at Disney World.
No,
it's in Disney World. So you gotta. Here's the problem with this, man. And listen. ESPN's owned by Disney, so I understand why they're doing it inside Disney World. But the reason this is a problem is not the fact that it's at Disney World and not at a college campus, because the game's in Orlando. I get the whole thing. But in order to go to game day, you got to buy actual ticket to get inside Disney World to go to game day. Now, how many people do you think that are normal Disney World ticket holders from England and Canada and everywhere else in the world? Because that's basically, listen, have you ever been to Disney World before?
Well, this is what I'm going to say, and it's different for other people if you come out of town, but most of us that live down here, we got annual passes. So we already paid or I'm not going, but most of us that stay within distance, we got annual passes.
So you got annual passes and you live in Florida and you're not going to the game?
I'm not going to game day, no.
No, I mean, game day. So why have you not sold your daily pass to Disney World to some Canadian yet? I would have done that. I would have sold this pass.
Go ahead. Oh no, because you have to have proof also with it.
Well, just get some Canadian that looks like.
You have to have proof that it's you.
Well, a photo ID. Just get some Canadian that looks like you, man. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, but I mean, well, I'm not even gonna say that. I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna disrespect.
Yeah, no. I led you into that. I got you.
Yeah, but the thing is, I already seen the whole rundown for the game day festivities. There's no designated area for the fans, so you're gonna be holding your signs up, and you're gonna have little kids walking through you with Mickey Mouse ears while you're trying to party. You can't get as wild as you want. So that was a no-go from the moment we heard about that.
I was just making a joke, but literally the last time it's probably, I don't know how long ago it was. It might have been like 8 years ago. It was the last time I went to Disney World with my family, and I swear, the entire country of Canada was at Disney World. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Hey, but I wouldn't be surprised that. I wouldn't be surprised that if tomorrow at game day, if you behind them, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some Canadian flags flying back there. I'm just saying. I got nothing against Canadians.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, football is becoming more popular and popular. So I'm pretty sure it's well represented over there. I'm pretty sure to be some neighbors to the north with at the festivities for game day. I just won't be partaking because you see me in 5 years I don't want them to see Jack Daniels Ramon. You know what I mean? I want them to see family friendly Ramon, but see Jack Daniels Ramon, he tends to say stuff. He tends to say some words that are very, expletive laced and things like that, and then I don't find out until I see a kid drop a snow cone crying that I said something that was a little, I don't want that.
Hey, Jack Daniels.
Jack
Daniels Ramon sounds a lot like Pigskin Pete. Jack Daniels. That's pretty much the same person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
Oh yeah. So, but right now, my prediction, my score prediction, I'm going 27-20. Good guys, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at.
27-20, the U, right?
Yeah, the U.
I'm with you.
Like I tell everybody, if it ain't orange and green, change the team.
I'm saying 27-24 or 30-27, Miami. That's my official prediction. So I hope you're right. I hope I'm right. I hope one of us is right. That's all.
But you know what? I mean, even though it's the furthest thing from my mind right now, I will come on the show and eat crow if that's necessary. But I got a feeling that, I'll probably be pushing the forward focus around the neighborhood with a milk carton in my mouth is what I'm guessing. So victory laps. So we'll see what happens.
There we go. My man, Ramon Jordan. Hey, Ramon. No, for real though, you're definitely calling in next week to review whatever happens. Whether y'all win, hey, listen, I hope you do win because that's going to be a great call. You can call in and beat your chest. But like you said, man, you got to eat crow if you lose. So you'll call in. You sure you're going to call in even if you lose, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that's not even a question for me, man.
Yeah.
I can never get as upset about a game as I did the 2002 game against Ohio State. I can never get that upset again. I mean. That was the first time in my life that I felt like I had a hangover without even drinking. But
yes,
other than that,
I've been there. So all right, so listen, I'll be looking forward to your call next week. Again, be safe. That's the most important thing on your trip. And second most important thing is to have fun, and the third most important thing is to beat up one of them Gators while you're there without getting caught by the police.
I got you, big dog.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. There you guys have it. Ramon Jordan. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the call-in studio right now because my computer's going to die in a second.
We are sorry.
And before I get off of here, I want to do my outro, and I also want to acknowledge some people in the comment section because I didn't really have a lot of time to do that during the stream because I just had too many calls coming in, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. But let me scroll back up in the comments here real quick. And first of all, Eric Birch coming through with a $5 super chat says, Pete, Eric, Crazy Bronco. Hold on. I really need to proofread these. I've read a couple of these comments just off the rip before, and definitely regretted reading them before or saying them before I read them. See, here's one right here. Complete Carol, who's I hope Jameis Winston isn't your Uber driver. You guys are something else. Hey, do you know how to spell Canadian at Disney World? Anybody? Anybody know? I can tell you how. Look for the most sunburnt son of a bitch in the entire crowd, and 100% chance he's from Canada. That's how that works. All right, listen, my computer's about to die. Listen, thanks to all the people that called in. This was a great show. I had so many people. I can't even, I didn't even write down everybody. I had maybe about 6 or 7 callers. Maybe 4 or 5 of them were first-time callers. Lots of excited Canes fans. Lots of pissed off Florida fans in the chat. I even had some. Well, I've had a lot. Everybody's called in tonight. I don't even know where to start. Look, you guys are all great. You're all fantastic. Real McCoy, Eric Birch, thanks for the super chats. Thanks to all the Patreon members. Thanks to all the people that have been sending me well wishes for the howardsrock.net venture, along with the Volunteer Roadshow and all of that. And most importantly, tomorrow kicks off the football season. I'll be going live probably about, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But at least 15 minutes before kickoff, maybe a little bit longer than that, depending on what's going on around the Pigskin Pete household. And I'm going to live stream the entire game, live play-by-play and reaction. So I hope you guys all show up. Hit that like button. Do what you do. Sign up for Bet Now. Use Pete. You know what it is. Listen, I love all you guys. You're all amazing and fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. And I will see you tomorrow for some real college football. Pigskin Pete is checking out.